You share the same thing. Facing your fears. I think we all commonly enjoy facing our fears because I can say, knowing all of us, it's something that drives us. Just
Facts.
the fact that it kind of scares me, so I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
And having that mentality, it's like with anybody, with a business or whatever you're trying to get into.
So
having
powerful.
That is just, face your fear and then don't let anybody marginalize, put you in a box like this is just what you are, because you get one shot at this life and it's really short. So there's a lot of things that we want to do as kids, and you have that mindset as a kid, like I want to do this, I want to become that. Just do it. You know what I mean? Just do it. If you fail, it's going to lead you into something else that may be even better. So, but just do it. That's our mentality.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Inspire to Inspire podcast, the place for actors, filmmakers, and content creators around the world to connect the dots and just get insight to your own reality. Today's episode, we have a very good friend of mine and his brother as well that I've really gotten to grow to know over the years. And they got some crazy stories. So for today's episode, man, we got my boy Derrick and Daniel Whitney, the Whitney brothers, the owners of Drive Rentals. Just to make it clear, Drive with the 3 at the end. And .rentals, make it clear. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got Derrick and Daniel. What's up, y'all?
How's it going, man?
How's it going, man? Appreciate you having us.
Hell yeah, hell
Thanks
yeah.
for having us on, bro.
Well, and just to let people know, man, for those who don't know, right now there is this massive viral video going on right now where a kid bought a Hellcat for $26,000. By the way, it was a $70,000 car, and was finessed by somebody who actually rented the car from my boys. Yeah. They rented the car and then they sold it to somebody else. Yeah. So what's really dope about this whole situation, like even though it's not the best situation, they actually created a GoFundMe campaign to actually get this kid his money back, to actually get his $26,000 returned. And on top of that, they're maximizing off of the situation. Their page is growing significantly. All their videos is getting massive amounts of views and actually bringing more business to what they're doing. So just jump into it today, y'all. Like when it comes to Drive Rentals, right? Why? Like why'd you guys create that? How did that even come about? Because y'all got the dopest whips, man. Y'all got the Rolls Royces, the Ferraris, the Range Rovers, like you name it. Whatever you name, y'all got it. So like how did that even start or come about?
I think as brothers and just who we are and how we grew up, we have always kind of seek ownership in everything that we do. So in the beginning stages of why we started it was because we love cars. We're automotive enthusiasts. We have a passion for everything automotive, not even just cars, everything automotive, airplanes, motorcycles, you name it. So we're automotive enthusiasts. So, in order to fund our dream and be around these things and to be able to have these things, we have to create a business to make money out of it. So, in the beginning stages, we really kind of just analyzed the market and we noticed that the market was driven by kind of old school way of thinking. There was a lot of these companies that are around for a long time, which I'm not going to name their names, but a lot of companies that are around for a long time and they had an old school business method in a way of doing things. And, at the time that we entered the market, because we were one of the first of the new gen in this business, and by the time we entered the market, we had the whole new age spin on things. So that entailed like doing social media, all that stuff before it was a wave. We were on top of it and we were able to conquer a market that was old school thinking. So when we started our business, we really, like I said, we analyzed what was going on and we just revolutionized it and turned it into something new. And then a lot of other companies came after us, and here we are today. So.
Definitely, and still moving with the times too.
Yeah, still changing, and evolving, so we don't get left behind.
Now, what's so dope about you guys, man, is the thing that I admire the most. So you guys are brothers. Yeah, you guys are successfully building and working together.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like that's so fire.
It's yin and yang relationship between me and my brother because we're able to see things in a different perspective. but have one common goal at the end of the day. He sees things from a different thing because he's different, different man than I am. But, at the end of the day, we have a common goal. And we know the objective, so it's good to have two perspectives because it's like a two versus one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, look, one, you already know you guys are gonna keep each other accountable, which is the most important thing, and to be able to also build with somebody that not only has your best interest, but that really got your back. Yeah. Where there isn't no malicious intentions. It's literally purely to like, we got a vision, we got a goal. Let's do this to not only better our lives but our families as well. Because I love how family oriented you guys are as well. When it comes to your family. For people who don't know, Derrick and Daniel both fight. They both box. Yeah. Derrick used to actually fight in my dad's shows, and when seeing his family come out and come support, man, it was just so much love and just like support. So like when it comes to getting into the car world, luxury cars, getting all these different. How did you guys even get in the position or manifest getting access to these things? Because a lot of times, say for example, if someone is freshly 18, they love cars, they want to start a car business, right? How do you even acquire a car? How do you know what I'm saying? Like that process of going about. So you guys have been able to build a catalog where there's all these different whips. So was that just through self-financing? Did you guys get investments? Like, how did that happen?
When we first started out, we were, that was the biggest thing about us, and which is why it took us a little longer than a lot of these bigger companies that are doing in the same field as us. People don't know, like, unless you really know us, like, we're self-funded. So we started out slow. It took us years. I mean, Derrick will tell you, we've been doing car rentals for over 10 years. And, we used to work with some companies before we had our own business, which led us to this. We seen how, the industry works, what to do, what not to do, what cars to get. And, we were making them all this money. So we were just like, we might as well start our own.
For yourself.
It doesn't make sense. We're bringing all the clients, and that's where the money is, because, at the time, Derrick was really active. He was out there, he was at every event you could possibly think of.
I see Derrick
He's
everywhere.
like telling me like, hey, we got to be here. And we're like, man, we got this clientele that, is spending so much money with travel, with automobiles. We need to start an automobile company, and we did. And we were self-funded. We come from a tech background. We were really big in the digital ad space with traffic and digital marketing stuff. And we actually had a really, really successful company that did a couple $1 million. A lot of people know us. We did really, really good in that space. And what we did was, it started kind of going down a little bit. And, Facebook started regulating stuff, Instagram regulating some of the ad stuff with companies. The traffic wasn't as good as it was, so we ended up taking our money from that and we started putting it into the car stuff.
Sick.
And a lot of the stuff wasn't profitable in the beginning. People don't know that about if you've known us for a while, we've had a lot of cars that have come and gone. Yeah. It's like this wasn't a profitable business for a very long time before we ironed out everything. But we pretty much learned off of just trial and error. Yeah. We started with the Mustang and Camaros. That was like our bread and butter. Those cars, we used to kill it with those. We had a bunch of convertible Mustang and Camaros. We had a ton of them. And that's what really built our foundation of our company, because we didn't have Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and all that stuff back then. It took years. Like we had those cars from brand new to like 130,000 miles. Like we rented those cars out a lot.
That's so cool.
But we built off of those cars and we learned a lot. We got access to a lot of different things. As far as like most of our almost 95% of our funding is ourselves. But we've had little stuff that we've worked with banks and stuff and partnered with dealerships and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's always been our own funds, which is good. Because it allowed us to grow in a way that I feel is more naturally and not so like, okay, here's a bank giving you $5 million, go buy a ton of cars. We had to really learn it from almost nothing, from the ground up.
Yeah.
So
what's so dope? I didn't mean to cut you off, but what's so dope about your story though, man? It's like, for me, for example, right? I like to tell the story as an actor. There's so many auditions that I will experience in getting. Where I'll get an email that says, unfortunately, we go to creative route differently, right? You deal with different forms of rejections, but then you get that one yes, and a lot of great things could come out that one yes. And maybe to everybody else, it may look one way, but nobody really knows about all the no's you dealt with prior. So, looking at you guys' catalog, you see everything you have, it makes a person like me go, well, where did they start? You know, like, because I know that in the beginning it wasn't like this. You know, creating like a business is like taking care of a baby. There's a lot of time you have to invest and put into it to where you can help grow and mature to where it can eventually take care of you.
Exactly.
And that's where I feel like you guys are at now, you know, which is fucking sick to hear.
A lot of it too was to piggyback off what he was saying is market research. We did our market research. We knew, okay, well, if there's a bunch of companies out here renting exotics, there's a you know, a market for these everyday drivers. And if you just, when you're, just to piggyback off of what you were saying and to answer your question, if you're 18 years old and you're wanting to start something like this, doing your market research really, you know, helps because not only doing your market research, but also thinking outside the box. And we thought outside the box. We were like, okay, you know, if everyone's renting exotics, there's a market for these everyday drivers. And not only is there a market for these everyday drivers, we're going to go out and get some cars that are low on maintenance. And it doesn't matter what day of the year it is. There's 365 days in a year that we can rent these cars all day, 24 hours. And, you know, these cars are easy. People from, you know, around the world, anyone from around the world can come to California and get in a Mustang and know how to drive it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do that.
That's the car they want to drive.
Yeah, you can't do that with the Lamborghini. And you know, and when we were in the process and when we did have those cars, you know, we would get a lot of international clients that would come from Russia, from China, all these different places. You know, they would tell us our dream is just to come drive a red convertible Mustang, you know, down the PCH, you know, so knowing the market, knowing what, you know, what people wanted, you know, because not everybody can afford a Lamborghini or Ferrari or something like that. So when Daniel said we had these cars 130,000 miles, not only did we have these cars for 130,000 miles, these cars were renting every single day of the year, every day. There was not a day that these cars weren't. That's so you know, so that we were able to multiply and make these cars, you know, flip these cars really quickly. Not quickly, but really, you know,
they pay for themselves
really quickly. So, and we're able to just build a fleet off of that. And then eventually we were able to get the cars we wanted to. And there was no pressure when we got the cars because, you know, we had these other cars working for us, you know what I mean? So then we were able to enjoy and do the things that we need to do on the marketing side to grow the business. Once we had
for the more exotic crowd and the big money crowd, because the thing is you never want to get those kind of cars and just put them out every single day. You don't want that because not every lead is a good lead. So it was one of those things where we didn't, even when we got them, you know, some of those cars are $5,000 a month. Like, you know, we didn't have to rent it because we had so many other more daily drivers that could pay for those cars. So when someone really needed like a movie studio, you know, actor or you know, influencer, athlete or somebody really needed it and they wanted it, then we would put it out, you know. So
in the day and age where to grow a business, you have to work with influencers, stuff like that. A lot of times influencers want things for free. So, you know, we're giving out.
We were doing that long before it was a thing.
We're giving out $1,000 a day. Cars that rent out for $1,000 a day, we're giving them out for free for a week. You know what I mean? So being able to do that, like I said, there was a backbone behind that, you know, which is these workhorse cars that we're able to fund them and whatnot. So
well, now you brought it up, man, just to kind of divert a little bit. So over the years, you guys been doing your thing, building it from the ground up, building organic clientele. You got your network. It's been growing. And then you got the situation that just happened with the Hellcat. Yeah. Break it down. What happened?
It's not the first time that I would say that's the first time that has happened, but it's not the first time something like that has happened. There's even crazier stuff we're gonna post on our TikTok page when we post all that.
Y'all got some crazy shit. There's a video y'all got. I seen with like just like a red car going in.
Yeah.
Then still is a Challenger, the orange Challenger.
Our Hellcat Red Eye,
it hits the thing and someone.
Yeah, that was right here.
But y'all got all these trackers on it. Yeah. So nonetheless, so kind of give us insight. What happened with this GT situation? I know people saw this viral video. Yeah. It's got over 14 million views right now. Yeah, and
it's everywhere. So it was one of those things where, you know, we've been doing, like I said, we've been doing this 10 years. But when it comes to that crowd of people who are either the scammers or people who are stealing cars, it doesn't matter how smart you are, how much you think you know, they know what you know times 2. So everything we have been through and, you know, we know to look out for, there's always some little edge they have on you because they know exactly what you're looking for. So they're going to try to divert around it. Yeah, they're going to go around it no matter how many safety precautions you have. So we had this guy come in. I don't know if you remember him, but he came in and he wanted the Challenger Hellcat. cool guy. He was very well spoken. No red flags. That's the biggest thing. You can kind of tell when you talk to somebody right off the bat, like if they're like kind of on something
like
weird.
off.
Yeah, off a little bit. Because when you ask them, like, because we don't invade on people's privacy, but we just like to talk to our clients. Like, hey, what do you got planned? You know, because sometimes they'll ask us, hey, do you know what club to go to? Do you know where to go for scenery?
Giving the
for
itinerary.
hikes? Yeah, an itinerary. So he was real cool, like real straight to the point. Like, hey, you know, I'm in town with my wife. I'm gonna be staying at this casino. It was the Commerce Casino. So he said all the right things to know, like, okay, if they look on the tracker, they're gonna see it at the Commerce Casino. So, you know, he rented it for it was like a week, and this car was like, you know, at the time the Challenger Hellcat's like, I think it's like $350 a day or something. You know, he comes in, you know, his credit card checked out, his driver's license checked out, his insurance checked out, everything checked out. So in our mind, you know, the systems we use, when everything's green and it shows it's good, okay, he's good. He's got his deposit. He's paying, you know, he's paid his money. So he leaves with the car. And, you know, nothing was weird. I think like, what it was like 2-3 days went by. Everything was good. You know, we have people on our team who their job is specifically to watch trackers all day. They don't do anything else but watch the cars. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's an invasion of privacy. It's not. Because when you got people driving these $100,000 plus cars and up, we have to know, like, if we see it go to a chop shop, if it goes to a tow yard, we're just on top of everything.
Those are assets.
Those are assets. And,
yeah.
You know, that's just what you sign in our policy when you rent a car from us. So when I went and looked at the tracker, one of my associates, you know, she told me, and I went and looked at the tracker, it didn't drive at all. But it was parked at the Commerce Casino. And, you know, a lot of people in the comments are like, oh, you guys should have went and took the car when you saw it was sitting. We can't legally do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we could, but what does that look like on us if you're at, you know, a casino and the rental company comes and takes a car from you because you're not driving it? You have every right to not drive it. You're paying for it.
Exactly.
You want to let it sit the whole time? You can
and take it out for a date.
You can take it out
whatever.
for a day.
Yeah.
Just a date and then just leave it. That's not our business.
It's not unnormal.
Exactly. It's not really unnormal. I think the biggest thing is like once it was getting close to like 5 days, you know, it's like, okay, he's not driving it. That's fine. He had actually text our business line, which we have like 3 or 4 people running it. And if you remember, he asked for the second key. Yeah, he was asking for the second key. And that's not uncommon because people lose keys all the time. I lose my keys. We got multiple keys to every car because we've had people go on jet skis and lose them in the ocean. People go to dinner and drop them in a seat. People lose keys. It's just, you know, the clients do that. So when he asked for it, you know, it was just kind of like, okay, well, you know, I kind of thought about it. I asked Derrick, I'm like, you know, should we give him the second key or should we have him go to Dodge and actually get another key made? You know, so we still have another key to the car.
Smart.
And, you know, he just was really, really persistent about it to the point where it kind of got weird. So we're just kind of like, you know, I don't know if he's being weird. He's calling, you know, he texts, he answers the phone right away. There's no, you know, anything really like too off. But, you know, he was just like, don't give him the key. He's like, I just don't give him the key. Because that was our only other key to the car.
Yeah, boy.
Like, I'm always skeptical.
Yeah, he's like, don't give him. He's like, what we can do is we can
know about this one.
Yeah, we can send him to Dodge. And, you know, the salesman at Dodge, the guy in service was just like, you can send him up here with you guys' consent. Just email this form over. We can make him another key. So once we told him that, all of a sudden I know where he finds it. Oh, you know, my daughter was playing with the key. She dropped it. I found it. And so we're like, okay, cool. So on the last day when it was supposed to come back, I think it was like due at like, I want to say like 11 or 12 or something, like noon. The car stayed in that Commerce Casino the whole time. But on the last day, I saw it go to Cerritos Mall. And then from Cerritos Mall, it went all the way down to Huntington Beach. And so the car was overdue. It was like,
yeah.
Text him.
He's just moving weird at this point.
He's just moving weird at this point. I told Derrick, I'm like, this is really weird. The car's in Huntington Beach all of a sudden. I was like, and he didn't drive all these days. Maybe he's just doing something. He's going to come extend it. Call him, nothing. Phone's just going to voicemail. Texting, nothing. You know, multiple people in my business contacted him and nothing. He's just not saying anything. And I've been through certain situations like this before where people tried to keep cars and steal cars. So I'm already on it. I'm just, okay, I told him I'm just going to drive down there. So I just go drive down to Huntington Beach to where the car's location is because we have active trackers on every car. All our cars have multiple trackers. We have multiple ways to find it, you know. So I get there and I don't even see the car. I hear it. Like I can literally hear the car on and I'm like, I don't see, it's like in a garage. And I'm like looking around. And it probably took like 2 or 3 minutes before I actually saw it pull out. And it backed out of a garage. And as soon as it backed out, I'm looking at my tracker and I'm looking at the car. And I just knew, I like put it together right away in my head. I'm like, there's no way. Because it was completely altered. The car
he's paying the rims, the rooftop, all this stuff.
The trunk. He
Crazy.
put a big Hellcat logo on the side of it.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw the car and I looked, it's just like, I'm like, there's
You
no
knew,
way, man. I'm
you
like,
knew.
There's no way this dude did this. Like, altered this car.
He even altered it to the point to where he put on the top of the car, he made it look as if it had been sitting out in the sun.
Because that was his thing. Is what he told the guy that bought it, is that it had just been sitting. He's going through a divorce, so he wants to sell it for cheap. So when you look at the roof of the car, even the plastic dip that he sprayed, the spray paint, it was like faded.
He made it look as if it was faded, so he could run with the story and say, "Hey, this car's been sitting out
like a real elaborate car.
This is a brand new car." You
Yeah.
know, so.
And dude, I saw in the video too, even the way that he created the fake title,
oh, man,
the pink slip. It looks so real.
The thing that threw me off with that is I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Because we've dealt with a situation like that with our cars quite a few times over the years that we've been doing this. So I'm used to seeing that stuff. Usually the paper is not that real. So the reason the kid bought it is because there's a lot of things that were wrong with the situation on his end. You know, he's a younger guy, so he really didn't. He was just thinking like, oh, I'm getting a Hellcat for $26,000. Like, this is like a really good deal. So he looks at the title. The title's on real title paper. We've had tons of titles of cars. The paper is real. Like, I'm touching it. It's real. It's got the seal. Everything's real. Registration's real. So, he had some kind of source of getting the paper, whether it was the DMV, which is what happens a lot of times, or just the tools to print just like
to finesse it.
So when the kid saw the title, it had everything that matched. The only thing that didn't match on it is what I was trying to tell all these millions of people on TikTok.
The bill of sale.
The VIN was wrong.
Oh,
the VIN for the car that's on the car in multiple places, it didn't match the title and the registration. It was completely different. But when you're a kid and you're like, oh man, I'm about to get this $75,000 car for $26K. You're not really thinking about that. I know at some point he had to be like, okay, maybe this is like too good to be true, but he didn't match that stuff, and it was wrong. It was wrong on the registration in the title paper. So once I came down there to tell him, well, hey man, this is a rental. This is our car. And he's like showing me all the stuff. He shows me the sales contract, everything he had with the guy. And I'm like, okay, what was his name? The name is not what the guy gave us to rent. It was a completely different guy, but it was it was another ID with his face on it.
Oh, damn, so he's that good.
He's that good. So
damn.
Then I'm thinking, okay, well, the information he gave us is probably not real, even though it checked out. So later down the line, we found out it's called synthetic ID fraud. Basically, he really does know someone at the DMV, and what they do is he pays them a little bit of money. They go put his picture on someone's real information. That's why it checks out to us, major retailers, anywhere someone goes.
What?
So they're doing this thing.
That's next level identity. Like
completely
this is what we're trying to tell people on TikTok too.
They don't get it.
People don't understand, not even just on TikTok. When people don't understand that when it comes to that, the synthetic identity fraud, like these are real. It really checks out. You can scan it. You can do whatever.
Yeah, it's like somebody getting your information and putting their face on it, and then they become you.
Yeah.
And they go to Nordstrom or somewhere, and they're using fake
identity theft,
cards and your name and stuff like that.
There's no way to stop that.
That because it really is someone's real information.
Wow.
So it's not like everyone's like, oh, you didn't do background checks, you didn't do this, you did that. It's like none of that.
It's registered.
It's a real person. Like that person that he stole that from, they can have a clean background. So even if when we did run it and his DMV check and everything, it comes back as good. Damn. So it doesn't tell me, hey, this is a car thief.
That is crazy.
I think a lot of people think like, oh, he's gonna have some history of doing it. This guy is like,
he does this.
He's done this, and he's done it a lot of times to be this accurate and elaborate with his scheme that
which
he does.
We found out afterwards. After this story went out, a bunch of
yeah.
So once we put, we put the story out on TikTok and stuff, and it was random when I did it. Derek's been pushing me to get on TikTok with our business.
I know you in that content world, boy.
He's like, we got to start talking about this stuff because everybody sees all the nice stuff, but let's actually talk about
the real shit,
the real stuff that goes along with this business and what we go through on a daily basis. Because
nobody knows,
have no clue. They have no clue. So I'm feeling terrible for this kid because I'm just like, man. He's like, I borrowed some of the money from my friend, some of it from my mom, some of it from savings.
You want to help him out,
but they're looking at us like, well, you should have let him keep the car. Well, we're a business.
Yeah.
We can't just give away a car for free because we still have overhead on that car.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't just give him the car for free. So, it was one of those things where it's like, legally, we didn't really have to do anything. We're just the type of, men we are and the type of individuals and our character and how we represent our business and what we do. We were like, okay, like, let's create him a GoFundMe, because a lot of people were asking that in the comments on TikTok. There was like 50,000 comments. People were just like, hey, like create him a GoFundMe. Like, yeah, that's cool. Let's do a GoFundMe for him. So he can
and y'all raised over what, about 7,000 already?
Like 7,000. Yeah,
which is amazing. Which is still,
it's something. So
bro,
it's like, most people, once we posted that, we got, I would say maybe 20 different people. The same guy has done that to, over from Arizona, Texas.
Oh, he just travels.
He travels. He goes. And it was the similar, like the same. He did the same exact thing almost to a T. Just there were certain places he went to, certain ways that he talked and way he communicated. It's just that he's just really good at what he does. And for a business like us that we've been in business for so long, it's like he got that over on us. He would get it over on anybody. I don't care what anybody says. They can say, oh, this X, Y, and Z. It doesn't matter. He has everything that we could have checked out. He had something for it. Like, even if it was a red flag, he had something. Okay, I'm gonna make sure if there's a red flag here, they see this. So there's really, it was just.
It's one of those things where it's like, as unfortunate as the situation is, though, ironically, I say this with a grain of salt, but it's almost kind of been like a blessing in disguise for you guys.
Yeah.
Because when you guys posted this video, it's now grown y'all page so much now.
Insanely. We were only on TikTok for 3 weeks before that. We were at like we had another little viral situation with an actual music artist.
The rapper.
Yeah. That we had that one. And so we had like 5,000 followers, but then the situation happened with the Hellcat, and we're at like 83,000 followers now.
I know.
And we're doing millions and millions of views. We got accepted to TikTok's partner program.
So now it's creating more business for you guys now.
Exactly.
And what's dope is you guys are still, here's what I respect about you guys though. It's like, there's why I say it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, because one, I love that you guys are helping this kid back. Again, like you said, it shows like what kind of men you guys are to be like, look, we are a business, but we shouldn't leave him hanging. Let's find a way to help out, which is like, I respect that karma will come back around. It's good energy, But then the fact that like now you guys' page is growing, how's that been maximizing you guys' business? Are you guys focus more so now on content creation to grow the brand?
I think we get, our phone has not stopped ringing. Our website's reservation, it's we don't even have enough cars for how many people have been trying to get cars.
Wow.
It's like, it's almost like insane.
Wow.
And it's like, we don't even rent Hellcats anymore. We like completely stopped renting.
After that.
That's why every time that like we've had a really crazy situation happen, whether it was a wreck or something with Hellcats, so we just kind of got away from them.
I've been telling him for years.
Yeah, they're extremely profitable cars, but they're just, I go to sleep at night knowing 3 Hellcats are out, and I gotta I can't even sleep because I'm like, man, I hope they don't wreck or something happens. It's just too much. Even though they're cool cars, the renters want them, they're too much, and not even just that, we've got so many brands trying to work with us. We've had news stations reach out to us. We even had Netflix documentary reach out to us. There's a lot of people who were interested in the business because there is so many people who rent cars now. I know Turo is like the Airbnb for cars.
Facts.
There's a lot of people who get cars and rent them on Turo and stuff, but no one really sheds the light on like what really goes on underground. Being an actual owner of a car that you rent out, there's so much crazy stuff that goes on. People trying to steal your cars, wrecking them, committing fraud, pulling the title to your car. It's taking your VIN off, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and a lot of people are really amazed at how we were still able to survive all these years with all these crazy situations happening. So we pretty much turned it into a thing. I know some people are like, oh, it makes your business look bad. Not really.
Not at all.
It doesn't make us look bad. We're just being real. And this is what we really go through on a daily basis with these vehicles to stay afloat. This is what you guys don't see. You just see the fleet of cars.
How much work that goes into that from you guys.
And that's what I was going to say, going back to the core idea of being an entrepreneur and being a content creator or actor or whatever it is your craft is. I think the thing that me and Daniel really want to kind of our message to all those people is just to do whatever it takes to make your situation work for you. So that's the thing that that's the key goal with putting out this stuff now. Like Daniel said, for the longest we didn't want to put this out, and now we're starting to put out all these stories that are crazy to people, but we wanted to really show people that sometimes you really got to take things into your own hands because no one's going to do it for us.
Love that.
In a place like Los Angeles where things aren't traditional, it's not a traditional place to do business. It's very untraditional. The way you do business, the way you have to handle yourself. whatever careers, the acting world is not I'm sure as you know, it's not a traditional blue collar business, right?
A lot of uncertainty.
It's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
So, and just today's times and how fast the world moves and how fast social media moves, with owning a business and being entrepreneurs, sometimes you really got to take situations into your own hands, into your own matter, and handle them accordingly. And as more videos come out, you'll see some of some of the people who are following us. You'll see how me and Daniel have handled situations ourselves, even when the police can't handle us, or the court is like, oh, this is going to take months for you to get your car back.
That stuff doesn't work in our favor.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you could sue them, you could use insurance, you could do this, you could that. It doesn't work in our favor. Yeah. It doesn't. We end up losing so much money and so much time trying to go that route. And most of the time, you can't even, like this guy, he still hasn't been caught. I had a dealership message us on TikTok not even 2 weeks ago, and it was like, he just did this in Portland, Oregon. Wow. So that's at a dealership, like an actual big dealership.
I really admire the fact that you're talking about like, yo, bro, just because there's a lot of good things that happen in this business doesn't mean that there isn't an other side to it. So the fact that you guys are shedding light, the fact that you guys are posting the videos and like, hey, yo, this is what we deal with. The fact that there's times that you have a situation and you try to call the police, you try to get help from the system, and they can't even do anything.
Exactly.
So being able to have to take into your own hands, like, I mean, what kind of situations has that like brought up that you guys have?
Crazy.
We done been in high-speed car chases.
No way.
In the middle of the night. I know when Daniel calls me in the middle of the night, like it's something that we got. I mean, we've had a situation where I don't like to say stuff like that. Be real.
We had to get down with people, man.
Yeah,
we had to. It's a lot of the car stuff brings a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's like a certain clients and entitlement, and they don't really realize like they're renting from us. It's our property, and they kind of get like, oh, well, I paid, and it just brings. So there's good renters, and there's people who just. You're gonna have an issue with them because they're just.
So what makes you want to continue to stay in this field then? Because when people ask me like, Dom, being an actor, what makes you want to still deal with this? There's highs, but there's a lot of shit in between too.
It's being ambitious and knowing who we are as men. That there's nothing that's ever gonna conquer us. We're always gonna conquer everything that we do.
I love that.
Any business endeavor we go into, any situation we're going to, we'll never let it get the best of us. We're always going to get the best of it. No matter if it takes years, we're always going to conquer it. We're always going to be the ones that get on top of it. So not letting something like that defeat you, because that's the thing as an entrepreneur, you're going to take L's and L's and L's and L's, and you're going to want to quit. You don't want to stop, repeatedly. And it may just beat you down to the complete, rubble. But if you have that mentality, if you have that personality where it's just like, well, there's nothing going to conquer us. There's nothing going to stop us. And we tell each other that, like, like, we got to handle this just because we're not going to let somebody take something from us.
Yeah, especially y'all work for this.
You know what I mean? Like, this is art happening. You know what I mean? So,
and what do you feel like for you guys, where's that mindset really come from?
I think it's the way we were raised, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's really the way we were raised, where we come from. We're from Missouri. We got, our parents raised us really, I would say they were strict on us, man. So it was just like, we even him growing up, like, dude wouldn't even let somebody take his toys, bro. So, you know what I mean? Like, we're grown men now. It's like, what are you going to take from me? It's just like, I think it was the way we were raised and how we came up. But, yeah, man, we work incredibly hard for what we have. And it's one of those things where, like, when these situations happens, we know we got to be on top of it right away because no one else is going to do that for us. It doesn't matter the companies we employ, our repo guys or the cops or whoever. They're gonna take. They don't have any urgency for anything. It's not their cars. So
our dad always said that. He always said, like, no one's gonna treat your property the way you treat it. No.
Facts.
No one's gonna treat the things you own the way you treat it. So when you own something, you gotta own it. You know what I mean? You gotta be the one responsible for it. And our dad will always say that to us. You know what I mean? So as men now, that really resonates because in a city like Los Angeles, where, like I said, untraditional business, every type of test, every type of test
you can possibly think of that can happen with a car.
Yeah,
we've dealt with it.
We had crazy stuff like people leave. Like drugs or something, like the craziest type of drugs in a car. Could leave guns, like just you know what I mean, like
random
just
ass shit,
crazy stuff, man.
Fuck.
It's just.
So how do you guys manage separating, being logical and being emotional, in these situations? Because again, it takes.
He's the one that really tells me, Derrick, we're not attached to these things. Like he has to remind me, you know, because when you have cars like Lamborghinis and Ferrari, it's cool. You like, I love this thing.
But
like
their products.
But
you
he's
have to
always
look at them as their products.
You know,
their business assets, their products. You can't get attached to them. You can't have any feelings towards them. They have a purpose. Yeah. So therefore, it kind of you don't
stay neutral.
Yeah, you like when something happens, you're like, okay, this is expected to happen. It's not like, oh man, this dude did something to him. It's because it ain't our personal vehicle, you know? So it's just like, you got to treat it as such, you know, treat it accordingly. So, you know, you don't really put emotions in it, because the second you put emotions in this business, bro, you will sink right away.
You know, I think that's such a powerful statement, because I actually think that goes to any business, right? Yeah. Having that fine line of like, for example, right? If you go out and about and people are telling you, oh, you're so great, you're so great, you're so great, you're awesome, I love this. And you're feeding to that, and then someone goes, you fucking suck. Yeah. You guys are lame. Yeah. Now you feed into that. Yeah. And it's like, versus just choosing to stay neutral, to treat the compliments the same way you treat these, right? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So you don't get too emotionally involved, because it'll tug and pull you.
It'll tug and pull you.
You know what I'm saying? So I love hearing how you guys keep your stability in terms of being like, knowing right off bat, these are assets. These are not attachments.
It reminds me, that's why he says everything physical is replaceable. Everything physical is replaceable. You know what I mean? We're the only things that aren't replaceable. You know what I mean? So we treat it as such, because things are going to happen, and he knows. Because I used to always get irritated, like when somebody would smoke. We had a Lamborghini Urus, and a guy smoked a cigarette in it and put it out on the on the leather, on the armrest, and burned a hole in it. And it's like the level of disrespect that comes with it.
He takes it like that.
I would used to take it like that.
Yeah, he's like the level of disrespect. Me, I'm just like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm already like, okay, let me hit up these 3 shops, see how much to get it fixed.
Yeah,
like, it's just like I
really like my pops. That's like that Midwest is like, y'all listen to the principles.
It's a principle, but the thing is, some people in this business, it's like they'll do it knowing that they did it, but it's like, okay, because I got money, I'll pay for it. Because the guy's just like, oh, you know, it's $2,000. Okay, well, I'll just pay for it. But my thing is like, why would you do it in the first place? Because that's just disrespectful. You know what I mean? So he really kind of got me out of that, you know, to a point to where we just, like I said, it happens. It's gonna happen.
You can't let it make you lose sleep, because when it used to get to that point where we were like, you know, like, man, 3, 4 in the morning going to take a car back, and then we got a situation. We went and took a car back from somebody, and he got 10 dudes with him. They want to fight because we're taking the car back from him. You know, it's just like one of those things where it's just like, you got to kind of, we look at situations like, it's not even worth it. It's really, we're a business. It's not worth it. You know, smart. You know what? Okay, cool. Keep it. I'm gonna just keep your deposit, and I'm gonna charge you for it. You know, instead of just being like, oh, you did this. Because there was a guy that came in. Yeah, he came in, and I didn't want to rent to him, and he rented a Trackhawk. I didn't want to rent to him because he was too much, man. And I told him, I said, no burnouts, no speeding, everything. We only give 3 speed alerts with our vehicles. You get 3 before we take it back from you, or we just disable it, and then you can't start it. So we give 3 warnings. They reach out, they call, and the last one is just like, okay, like if we get like another 120, 130 mile an hour speed alert, we're gonna just kill the car. But you know, then it's crazy because he came in. I ended up giving him the Trackhawk, even though I didn't want to. I was like, all right, you know what, man, just whatever. You know, just give him a bigger. He paid like a $2,500 deposit, which was bigger. No more than like 30 minutes after
all 3 alerts.
It's crazy how many people in LA know us. Someone calls and they're like, "Hey, bro," no, they hit us up on Instagram. The little like the video chat, and it's one of the guys we know in the car scene. He's like, "Hey, bro, is your white Trackhawk in Santa Monica?" And I'm like, "Let me look at the tracker." And I look.
Yeah, I was
looking the track. I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, bro, there's literally a dude at the Santa Monica Pier with your Trackhawk. He's doing like burnouts, just nonstop, just around, like big smoke cloud.
You know where all the cross section where everybody's at. He wants to make a scene, like
just right there in the middle,
right there, in the middle, bro, where the pier's at, right there where the pier's at. And I'm like, you're lying. He's like, I'm gonna send you the video. He sent me the video, and I'm like, and I'm looking at this dude like, bro, did I not just tell this dude? And I didn't want to rent it to him. So later that night, we had to go take it from him. He was like all the way in like far somewhere. So we
at a dispensary.
Yeah. We didn't know it was a dispensary. So we went to go take it from him. It was like a big scene, big commotion, big issue.
It's just a lot of shit that comes with this.
Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, like we don't ever want to put our life at risk I tell him that for a vehicle, for a car.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna get it back regardless. Like it doesn't matter.
Bro, I mean, look how many people are getting shot for dumb shit. What happened to P&B?
Yeah, especially now, like the way that we used to handle things 2-3 years ago, we don't handle it like we do now. Everything now is completely different. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna get in the
wiser, more emotional intelligent.
Like, okay, if I don't agree with you and you're trying to do something, I'm gonna send a repo guy. Gonna come with a tow truck, pick the car up, and he's gonna bring it back to us. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna. It's like Derrick said, we're not replaceable. The cars are.
So what you guys are doing right now, let me ask you this then. It's like with everything you guys got been growing into and with having the growth intelligence wise, emotionally intelligence wise, what's your overall vision for where you guys see yourself going? Because now you're getting all this momentum, bro. You guys are creating, you're getting more traffic. Like, what's the big goal? What's the big vision?
Derrick have talked a lot in depth about kind of branching, not from the cars, the rentals completely. We're gonna always have the rentals, but we're more into the lane now of events, content creation, stuff around cars, not so much just rentals.
So it kind of verge out that lane a little bit.
Okay, we have such a crazy fleet. We can create content around this stuff all day. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna say everything is gonna be crazy. We got a lot of crazy stories, and that stuff is, you know, good too. But we can create content with, you know, the influencers, companies. We got so many brands hitting us up now, whether it's tires, stuff that dealerships. There's so many brands, and there's a lot of things you can do with cars, and you know, and stuff that, you know, comes back to it to where we don't have to just do rentals. And I think we're really interested in the side of the content creation, stuff like that. So,
dude, that's sick.
And teaching people how to run a business like this and start their own business, because we get a lot of that. So many people asking us, okay, how do you do it? And not even just how do I do a car rental business. I have a similar type of business. I rent properties or something. How do you structure this? Or when something happens, because stuff happens when you rent properties, you know. As you probably know, we have a property rental business as well. You know, something happens in a multi-million-dollar house and furniture gets destroyed, something like that, and police don't want to help. How do you handle it? So also educating people on the side of how to handle situations in an untraditional way of doing business nowadays. You know, just things are just different, I would say, in the business world, and then especially in a city like LA.
So for you guys, outside of the car stuff, how do you guys keep yourself balanced personally? I know both of you guys like to box. Like, why do you guys feel like boxing has keeps you guys so balanced or sane, or like why are you guys even doing it? You know, just even in general.
I think it also comes back down to who we are as men and the mindset that we have. It's just, we both feel as if there's something we want to do, we're going to do it. And not only are we going to do it, we're going to conquer it. So boxing, as you know, because you know me for years, is something I've been doing since I was 4 years old. It's always been a overlying factor in my life. And as a man, a sport like boxing is not only a challenge to you physically, but it's a challenge to you emotionally, spiritually, everything. It challenges you on a level that nothing else can challenge you.
I know.
And as men who are very kind of unique in how we do things, it's one of those things that's broken us down to the core, which is very hard to explain. It's broken us down to the core, and it's one of those overcoming things. We like having the challenge to overcome, and that's what kept us in this business. That's what's, you know, that pushes us in boxing and everything we do. We like having that struggle, that something, because it's something to wake up to strive to. You know what I mean? It's something that, like, when you have something, an opposition as a human being, you want to overcome it. You know what I mean? So that's
especially
what it
when
is.
someone tells you you can't do it.
Especially, so
that part.
That part. It's like when you tell me I can't do something, then I'm really gonna do it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like it keeps us balanced too. I feel like there's so much of a mental challenge and physical challenge with boxing. It kind of translates to everything else that we
absolutely
do, you know. So
that's why I feel like it's kept me so disciplined with being in this business, because you already know, bro, like, you have Nipsey Hussle that talks about the marathon continues, like, and the marathon is such a real thing, because it's like, even in boxing, bro, the concept of going 12 rounds, right? And it's having endurance, you know, and you have to, when you fight, when you step in that ring, you now have to only have intelligence, you have to have an IQ, you have to be sharp, but you have to be able to emotionally align yourself to where you can be able to act and react off of intelligence and not emotional. And you're going to have good rounds. You're going to have maybe not the best rounds.
Exactly.
You know, you're going to have days where you go in the gym, you fucking kill the sparring sessions, bag work. You have days where it's hard, but it's like that opposition of knowing I have to do this to get better. I have to fight past this. I don't want to stop myself is what keeps people going. I love how I can see how that mentality mirrors drive.
Exactly.
Because it's you guys are like, well, if just because we went through this, let's just find a different way. Let's just learn. Let's just grow. So that's why I wanted to just hear how, or have you guys express how you guys keep yourself balanced, because I want to encourage more people to find that outlet that keeps you happy and joyful and feeling good on top of what you're doing, because people lose themselves, man, for real. And I can see how boxing for you guys is what keeps you guys grounded. And
don't ever get marginalized, because life sometimes can put you in a box, and in the world around you can sometimes put you in a box. But we have to remember how powerful we are as human beings. And you know, people are like, oh, you can't be an entrepreneur and be a boxer, and you can't be no, man, like that's society telling you, marginalize you, putting you in a box, like this is what you, I mean, if you want to do something in life, there's literally, like, it sounds cliche, there's literally nothing stopping you from doing it other than yourself. If you see something you want, you can get that thing. No, it may take you a long time. It may take you who knows how many years, but it's possible. You know what I mean? So I think that's the mentality, that all three of us share, because I've known you for years, and, you know, seeing you grow and seeing you develop and all the different things that you've gone through. You boxed for years, you know what I mean? So knowing you as a person, knowing your dad, knowing your family, you know what I mean? And your mentality is just, you share the same thing. Facing your fears. I think we all commonly enjoy facing our fears, because I can say, you know, knowing all of us, it's something that drives us. Just the fact that it kind of scares me, so I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
And having that mentality, it's like with anybody, with a business or whatever you're trying to get into.
So
having
powerful.
That is just, you know, face your fear, and then don't let anybody marginalize you, put you in a box. Like, this is just what you are, because you get one shot at this life, and it's really short. So there's a lot of things that we want to do as kids, and you know, you have that mindset as a kid, like, I want to do this, I want to become that. Just do it. You know what I mean? Just do it. You know what I mean? If you fail, it's going to lead you into something else that may be even better. So, but just do it. You know, that's our mentality.
No, that's so powerful. There's a book that I'm reading. I actually just finished it. It's called The Way of the Superior Man.
Yeah.
And it talks a lot about living at your edge, meaning don't be afraid of fear. Yeah. Don't fear fear. Yeah. If you fear, like, if you feel like something's scary, like, go after it. Because that's where the growth is going to be. That's where the things that you want is really going to come from. So the way you articulated that, bro, is so amazing, bro. Because, again, it's hand on hand with, like, look how many cases there are of people doing what they want in life. Like, there's one quote that I got to really give Logan Paul mad credit for that I love, but it's the fact that he says, my job is to do the impossible and your job is to believe that I can't.
Yeah. That's real.
That's the most realist like shit. And that there's I love a post of I watch podcasts, but that's one of the quotes I swear that everything I've heard this kid say, I'm like, I rock with that. You know, because it's like we have to think like that in order to manifest. Like, your dream should sound scary enough to the next person. It should sound crazy.
Yeah, no, it should.
It should sound like, oh, how are you gonna do that? Yeah. Sit back and watch.
It brings some type. If you're looking for some type of thrill or excitement in life, that's where you get it from. Facing your fears. You know what I mean? If you think your life is boring, or, you know, your job is boring or whatever, find something that scares you and then go after it.
Look how you was nervous to post a video.
Yeah, bro, I was.
You know? And then it went viral.
I was like, you know what, man, let's just do it. Let's just do it.
It's how you know.
Like, I saw 14 million views. Like, like academics posted you, World Star posted you, Daily Mail, Yahoo.
Wait until you see what we have to come, though. Because we have even
What's coming? What's that?
We haven't posted the craziest stories, man.
There's stuff that's just like, I'm going to post it, people are just going to be like, there's no way this is real.
Had people, we've had, just quickly, man, just off the top of it, we've had two people rent our cars, Maybach and G-Wagon, and get into it with each other and then play bumper cars in our cars.
What?
With
A Maybach?
Oh, they wild.
G-Wagon.
Oh, they wild.
This is during the
bro.
All-Star weekend.
Friends,
Two friends.
All-Star weekend. They were like actual friends, like good friends.
Playing
He
bumper
calls me
cars.
down here together.
You did what in
I'm
our
like,
car?
and it's like almost he's calling me. He's calling us to tell us what he did. Like they're friends, but they're hurry up and calling like, bro, like I swear, man, like he's tripping, bro. I don't know, and trying to tell his side. I'm like, what happened with the car? Man, we were like, he hit me first, and I hit him back with the car. We were like rammed. I'm like, bro,
What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
Like,
Yeah.
It's like crazy, man. It's crazy because all these years we filmed this stuff on our phones. And we never thought we were going to do anything with any of these stuff.
That's
man.
something our parents taught us. Was
Mm.
Our parents always had us in front of the camera. Always when we were growing up, like they filmed everything. So it translated into life because we filmed everything.
Smart.
Everything that has ever
Documented.
happened, good or bad, we've
Documented.
always had it on camera.
Yeah.
So as these stories roll out, it's a crazy thing telling them, but being able to visually show them and have it on film is different. It's still something we're adjusting to because we're still trying to get comfortable putting out some of this stuff because some of the stuff is so abstract and bizarre that it's just something straight out of an action movie.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, your company doesn't know what they're doing. It's like,
No.
we've been doing it.
You're helping actually, for the ones who are smart,
Yeah.
you're helping them what to look out for.
What to look out for, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look, this happened to me. Don't want this to happen to you.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah,
We got it on footage. It's not like we planned for this shit.
Yeah.
It's not like y'all intended for this shit to happen. Like y'all, nobody wants to deal with that shit. But it's like, this is the facts. This is how good people can be.
Yeah.
So if you want to protect yourselves, there are things to look out for and maybe a couple of red flags so you don't have to be in a situation to where a kid is paying $26,000 for a $70,000 car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the fact that, again, moral of the whole entire story, my favorite aspect about you guys is the fact that you guys are utilizing this momentum to do something positive for the kid and also positive for the brand, the company, and you're not doing it just to shame people, but you're actually doing it to spread light and awareness.
Exactly.
And you're doing it through content creation, bro, which is maximizing the business.
The business, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
it all worked out in the end.
crazy,
You know, so-
crazy. I said this on my last episode, but I was like, you never know how God's gonna utilize the universe to bring things to you, and it happens in the most bizarre ways. It's like I like to say that whenever I meditate, I pray, I like to ask God to bring me something better than expected. And it may not happen the way you expect.
He's got untraditional ways of working. God is he throws some surprises in there, and then and at the end of the day, you sit back and when you reflect and when you meditate, you're like, I see what you did.
That's why.
I see what you did, guys.
Yeah.
Because there were points where we were like, he knows. I'm like, man, I'm so tired of this.
You want to
dealing
stop.
with these situations with everything that's happening with these cars, man. It's just like you want to stop doing it, but then you're just like, there's a reason they keep bringing us back to keep doing it. And then we're like, okay, now all the bad stuff ain't so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're a partner on TikTok now, so obviously we monetize our views. Yeah. But it's like, I put that video up. First day it was at 2 million. Next day it comes out,
excuse me,
7 million. Next day 14 million. And everything we put out now is doing a couple 100,000.
Yeah, it's doing great.
Even if it's something that's not super crazy, even when I post just like regular car stuff, it'll do almost 1 million views now.
Still growth, and you're getting eyes now. It's amazing,
and
bro.
I told her, I said, nothing matters to me other than people seeing our company logo and no one seeing that name. And people we got people from UK, all Dubai, all these places that
badass.
Are like, man, they send us messages. They're just like, man, I love what you guys are doing. Your company's so dope.
That feels
sharing
good.
Story. And you're
Man, that feels
With
good.
that being said, we are looking for young creative minds too. To help us with this momentum, this content creation for Drive, because we like working with like the younger, more hip to the social media type. So if there are people out there that want to collaborate on TikTok and stuff like that and know how to really grab something like this and run with it, we like to give people opportunities because no one ever gave us opportunities, and that was one of the things we wanted to always do with this business is to give opportunities where we see fit. Because we always used to say that, man, we wish somebody would take a chance on us.
Do that.
So now that we've made it, what we made, now we want to give that opportunity that we never had. So if there are people out there, we're open to that.
I relate with that on y'all because that's my dream, that's my vision, bro, is to become a power player in this town to where any movie, any show I make is greenlit and I can bring on who I want to. I can help out the next person. I can be in a position to not only do my own shit, but create opportunities for the next. But, you know, the journey requires some trials and tribulations. At times, you gotta go through the valley. When you get done going through that valley, man, the other side can be real nice sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So just to wrap things up, man, you know, for anybody who is an entrepreneur, for anybody who's looking to maximize the business and grow, what's the best advice you guys feel like you've heard? And also, what's the worst?
What's the best? What would you say the worst advice? You go for the worst one.
The worst advice somebody can give you is to quit. That's the
bar.
That's the worst advice you can ever
Do
give.
something else. Yeah.
Do something else. That's and I feel like a lot of people have a lot of people around them, and they're not necessarily trying to down you, but they know like, okay, the easiest route is just to quit. If you're not seeing success or you're doing something and it's not working, a lot of people around you will just tell you to quit. And then in your mind, you're thinking like, now everything you do, if it don't work right away, you're just like, oh,
I'm just gonna quit.
I'm just gonna quit. Move to the next thing.
Man, you could have been closer than you thought.
Yeah,
I was
right there.
I would say some of the best advice actually would come from you, man. I don't know if you remember, you know, we have our conversations when we call each other.
Yeah,
we
power
just talk
talks.
about life and we talk about, you know, what we're doing and how it applies. And, you know, you told me, you know, a long time ago, man, dial into what you're doing and focus on that. Just focus on it, you know what I mean? And tune out everything else. You know what I mean? And I would say that's some of the best advice I've ever gotten.
That's
it's
love.
It's just because sometimes when a lot of stuff is happening, a lot of situations are happening around you, your mind can get fogged with all these different things. And sometimes it's hard to dial and focus on that goal,
Facts.
that goal that you have. And you, like I said, you're guilty of telling me that.
Much love.
You know? And that it was in a situation where it was applicable to boxing, but you know, I think that's some of the best advice I've gotten, man, and that's me being authentic.
Bro, I appreciate that because, you know, truthfully, it was shared with me, you know, because I felt like that at a time. You know, I feel like a lot of anything that I know knowledge-wise, you know, it's just passed down to me. Yeah. And I feel like I found myself in a time where I feel like I was spreading myself like thin, like trying to do to me, and I was through my family, you know, like, yo, get rid of the just dial in on that. Just focus on that and just forget all the noise. You know, worrying is tomorrow, regret is yesterday, but happiness is now.
Yeah.
You know, so if you focus on the now, you'll continue to be happy. But if you keep worrying about tomorrow or yesterday, you're gonna find yourself in this teeter. So just dial in and just focus, and then the results will come. And you guys are living proof of that, man. So definitely. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the episode today, man. Make sure to go follow my boys at drive.rentals, drive.la. Make sure to put the 3 at the end as the E. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that's, you know, it's the right one. And again, man, thank you guys so much for coming. Is there anything else you guys want to mention or tell them where to follow you guys at personally? Or
both of us. I'm Derrick Whitney, Derick Whitney. That's my name on all social media. I occupy it. Nobody else has Derrick Whitney. Even on Xbox, that's me.
So, you know, we got to run it up.
I'm Daniel.Whitney.
Okay.
I'm literally the same thing. Instagram, all social media platforms, Xbox, TikTok. I literally did the dot specifically. So I'm Daniel.Whitney. So.
Man, again, I'm just so thankful you guys were able to come and talk today, bro. Yeah. For real. So, yo, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on today's episode. You guys already saw, man, it's another episode of the Inspire to Inspire podcast, the place for actors, filmmakers, and content creators to tune in, connect on dots in reality. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'm going to see y'all next episode, all right?